So as you probably already know, there's many different kinds of events in JavaScript. Click events, mouse move events, keyboard events, etc. The list goes on and on. Now, Vue.js comes baked with a really simple way to listen out for those events and then react to them in whichever manner you desire. Now, the best way to explain this is, I think, again, through an example. So what we'll do is head over to app.js, and by the way, you can probably see I've cleaned out all of the code from the last lesson, so we're left with almost an empty Vue instance. And what I'll do now is create a property in the data object called wage, and I'm going to set this equal to something like 10, right? So I'll save that, and then we're going to output this to the screen now. So if I do a p tag and say I earn, and then we're going to output wage, so double curly braces, and close those off, and we'll say pounds per hour. All right, so if I save this and view it, then we should see I earn £10 an hour. Awesome. So we're outputting that property there, but what I want to show you is how we can change that property using events. In particular, we're going to start with the most popular event on a web page, I think, the click event. So then, what we'll do is create a button, and inside this button we'll say increase wage by £1. All right. Now I want to add an event to this button so that when someone clicks on it, then it's going to take this wage property right here and increase it by 1. So I can do that by using another directive called v-on. All right. So previously we had v-bind, and you'll notice that all or most of the directives in Vue start with v-. So this is v-on, then a colon, and we're going to say what type of event do we want to listen to? Well, we want to listen to a click event. So we're saying v-on colon click, and then we're setting it equal to something. Now in here we can run some kind of JavaScript. So we could say, for example, wage plus plus. And plus plus in JavaScript just means add 1, right? So we can save this, and hopefully, fingers crossed, this is going to work. So if I press this button now, we can see the wage going up, and now we're on £20 an hour. If only it was that simple in real life. So now let's do another button with another event. So I'll copy that and paste it down below. This time I'm going to decrease the wage, and we'll change this to decrease as well. Save it, and hopefully this should do the reverse. So increase still works, decrease, that takes £1 away. All right. So that's how we can react to events. How seriously simple was that? And like I said, there's loads of different kinds of events as well. There's mouse move events, double click events, and we're going to see a few of those as we go forward. Now then, this thing right here, this JavaScript is running inside this attribute, if you like. Now we don't have to write our JavaScript inside this attribute. What we could do is we could reference a method on our Vue instance. So why not? Let's create a method, and we'll call this change wage, since that's what we're doing, right? Then we'll pass through a parameter, which is going to be the amount that we want to change the wage by. So then we'll access this wage property up here by saying this.wage. Then we'll say plus equals the amount. So plus equals means, okay, we'll take the current value and then add whatever the amount is. So the amount could be 3, so it's going to add 3 to the current amount and update it to 13. Then it could be 5, so we'll take 13 plus 5, then it's 18, etc. All this could be a minus value, and it will work the same. All right then. So let us say here, instead of doing the JavaScript directly inside this attribute, we're going to call the function change wage, and we're going to pass a number through. We just want to increase it by 1. And we'll do the same for this thing down here, change wage. This time we want to take 1 away, so it will be -1. Let's see if this still works. Increase your wage by 1, sweet, and decrease it by 1, awesome. So now we're attaching click events to these buttons, and when someone clicks them, we're telling Vue to run this method right here, change wage, and it's finding that method and running it. Cool, so let's do a couple more buttons here. What I'm going to do is just paste these in again. This time, instead of click, what I'll do is react to a double click event. So that is dbl, then click. And same for this, DBL, click. And this time what we'll do is increase the wage by £5 and decrease the wage by £5. So let's say change wage again. This time we'll pass 5 through and change wage one more time. This time -5. Alright, so let's save that and view this in a browser. Now, increase wage still works, decrease still works. Now, if we click this once, nothing works because we're not listening for a single click event anymore on these buttons. If we double click, then it does work. Alright, so that is really cool. These are now increasing or decreasing the wage by £5. That is awesome.